Hello and welcome once again to Ask Housing. This time we are live in Pune with Mr. Rohit Gera, who is MD Gera Developments and VP CREDAI Pune Metro. Mr. Gera, welcome to our show.
Thank you, my pleasure.
I'm Jamur Ghosh, I'm the editor-in-chief of Housing.com News, and we'll be speaking to Mr. Gera about how the Act RERA will protect the interests of home buyers and create a level playing field for the sector. Mr. Gera, I'd like to start with a more personal question first.
Sure.
Over the last year or so, I have been observing that, you have practically been a RERA advocate. You've spoken very candidly about how RERA is the need of the hour. You have conducted a lot of awareness sessions for media people, myself included. More recently, you had a performance poetry video which you put up on the Gera Developments YouTube site, where you have spoken about just the entire impact and the entire market ecosystem. I would say that you are a RERA believer. So what makes you such a firm proponent of RERA?
Well, look, I think for too long, we've had people take advantage, or developers take advantage of customers, right? And it's not across the board. This is not all developers, but it's many. And I dare even say most, right? And I think it's time that changed. Now, if we are to make the change, then it's going to require legislation.
Absolutely.
The thing is, if you look at Maharashtra, for example, now in Maharashtra, we've had the Maharashtra Ownership Flats Act since 1963, right? 50 years ago, 55 years ago now, the government of Maharashtra realized that people need to be protected from this breed called builders. And yet 50 years later, we came up with another law. And interestingly, if you look at the preamble, introducing Maharashtra Ownership Flats Act, and you look at the preamble of the RERA, it's the same. So 50 years later, we still haven't made progress. And I think the one big reason for that is in MOFA, there was no regulator. And I think the big difference with RERA is that they've envisaged a regulator so that the consumer grievances can be handled. It's specific to the sector, and therefore I believe that the authority and the regulator will understand the issues and the nuances of the industry. Because this is an industry which is very different from any other industry. And therefore I think I'm very, very hopeful this time that we make this change. And I think I think it's about time that we clean out and weed out the trash, okay? And those developers who are unscrupulous, who give the industry a bad name and give all of us, and many of us who are doing a great job, okay, who want to deliver for our consumers and for our customers, we just get a bad name because of a lot of other people. And I think it's time to stop that.
So, I know for a fact that you've studied the Act in fairly great detail. I'd like to know which are the clauses which you believe will be of greatest benefit to home buyers. Can you just maybe talk about some of the clauses, some of the rules?
Sure. So I think look, there's a host of them, right? So I think on time, actually let's go even before delivery. I think title. Now a developer is required to underwrite the title from a long-term perspective. Is it good? I think it's great. But I think there's a little bit of overreach in that. But I think that there is protection there. Developers used to get a lot of funding from consumers even before they got approvals. That has stopped. Well, that's supposed to stop with RERA, where you can only start marketing and selling and advertising after you have all approvals in place. I think that's great. It's a very high level of protection for consumers. On-time delivery. Another big complaint from consumers. If you don't deliver on time, you're supposed to pay the penalty to the consumers. Interest rate. Developers would charge a higher interest rate for in case a consumer delayed, but virtually had nothing in the agreement which would compensate the consumer for delays or defaults at their end. That has now become a level playing field. Any kind of misrepresentation in advertising, the consumer can actually file a suit against you, and claim damages for that. And the last one, which I think is really important is on the construction quality. So now there is a 5-year defect liability period which every developer is forced to give. I know the challenges that go with that because we at Gera, we've been doing this now for 14 years.
For quite some time,
in fact, our defect liability contract is signed on stamp paper. Okay, and it goes beyond even just the defect liability period. But I think that's one of the things which is going to be very valuable for consumers as well. So I think on an overall basis, you know, what is going to happen with RERA is, and maybe I'm jumping the gun in terms of the outcome, but I'll just say this. I think that the total cost of ownership, which includes the delay cost, which includes the title cost, the risk of that, it includes the repair cost, that entire cost for an end customer will come down, but the sticker price that he'll pay will go up. So I think total cost of ownership is going to come down, but the actual price per square foot which you pay will eventually increase.
So, you know, there are two interesting points that you've touched upon. I would like you to sort of talk a bit more about the warranty clause. Like you said, you've been doing it for a long time. What has been your experience? Do home buyers really get a greater sense of confidence when the developer is offering them a defect liability clause? What has been the feedback on that?
So our customers totally appreciate it. In fact, we've gone 2 steps forward and we now have a mobile app where if you have any kind of an issue, log it in, take the photographs of the problem, upload that, tell us the date and time you want the person to come and visit to fix it. And we're now getting up to 93% of complaints logged in through our app. We have been able to reduce our site inspections by 70%, which basically means my person from my organization will come and visit you only one time to fix the problem. It's not 2 separate visits because we understand that, you know, today customers are busy coordinating appointments, so it's difficult. So so people like that. So I think that there is a benefit to people. We've been kind of doing the 5-year warranty which we've been offering. It's voluntary. So we embraced it and we made it a strategic brand promise, which has now actually become the industry norm. But I think a couple of things happened when we decided to do this. My entire team decided to focus on how do we then ensure that we reduce our cost of delivering the warranty. Okay, so our quality standard automatically went up because suddenly there was a price which we were going to have to pay for poor quality, which before that was not mandatory. And today I think all developers will start experiencing this.
So what you're saying is it's not just good for the home buyers, it's good for the developers as well, and they will see the benefit of it in the long run for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. But, you know, having said that, I think that one of our experiences has also been, I've had people, my customers, try and bribe my warranty team. Okay. Something costs, you know, it's not within warranty because they've tampered with something, their interior designers came and did something, and they tried to pay our guys and said, listen, I'll give you $2,000, you know, put this onto the company. That happens too.
I think that's been a learning curve in other sectors as well. So I guess real estate will just sort of, you know, learn and evolve. And so you've also spoken about delivery timelines. Now that is something, you know, that a lot of our viewers wrote into us, and that is obviously a main concern. And there has been a lot of research of late, you know, which the media is telling people that, you know, in the short to mid-term, you know, RERA has kind of, you know, pushed delivery timelines a little, because with RERA and GST, the industry is also grappling with quite a few things. But in the long run, you are expecting delivery timelines to get streamlined for sure.
So I think let's look at what's happened so far. Developers, and I think there are 2 categories of projects. Okay. And RERA has helped one category and it hasn't helped the other. The category of projects where there is any kind of work going on, okay, even slow or fast certainly, are helped by RERA, okay, because those projects are registered and all of that. In the category where projects are going on, those which are delayed have given much longer timelines for completion. So there is a fear that, and many projects are delayed. So the question then is, oh my God, are all developers going to stretch delivery timelines? To an extent, yes. To an extent, yes. And one of the other reasons for this is, you see, previously we would say that if the apartment is ready for possession, okay, then we're kind of done. Okay. But now RERA says we have to provide it with the occupancy certificate.
Yes.
We have no control over the occupancy certificate.
True.
Okay. It is extremely easy for an official to raise an issue of any kind and deflect the entire occupancy certificate.
True.
Now, mark my words, this will lead to an increase in corruption.
Okay.
Okay. And that's because if my delivery date is mentioned on my website, God forbid I'm close to that date. Okay. The official is going to be able to say, hey, you know what, your completion date is, I don't know, 30th September. You've applied on the 2nd. If I send you for one legal query, you're going to need to pay so many people this kind of a fine for delivery, for delay in delivery. So I want this much. So I think that aspect of, so far what we've seen is that developers are, the pendulum is at an extreme end. Therefore, we are all concerned. So developers are taking the very, very conservative view.
Okay.
We don't know how the regulator is going to treat delays by authorities.
True.
Therefore, developers are taking an extremely conservative view and putting long delivery dates. So that's the case where there are ongoing projects. Unfortunately, the category where projects are stalled because of lack of finances, because of approvals, okay, because the developers kind of frittered away the money, RERA is not addressing that. And I think that is a huge area. And I think that while a lot of consumers are trying to move the court to try and get those things resolved, there are projects across the country. Everybody can't reach the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court cannot issue a judgment in every single customer's case. And frankly, I think jailing the developer is not getting that person's home delivered. So there is, and maybe this is a conversation for another time, but I think that those consumers, there is an opportunity for them, and there is a formula for them to fix their problem, to come together themselves, and we can certainly talk about it another time, but I think that there is a need to solve the problem for them as well. So the delivery timelines, I think, as the law kind of settles, we understand the regulator's approach. I think that the law was prepared thinking all developers are obnoxious, horrible people. Okay, and all developers are thinking that the law is going to therefore take everybody to extreme tasks.
Very true.
Okay, so everybody is coming from extreme positions. As it settles down, I think we'll see everybody becoming more reasonable and rational about it.
It's interesting you mentioned corruption, because one of the major concerns home buyers across the country have raised about RERA, and that's where there may be a bit of lack of confidence in RERA comes from, is when you read all these reports about various states diluting the RERA rules. So what do you feel about that? Is there a real danger there in terms of, RERA not making the impact that it is intended to make when states dilute rules like this?
I think it's extremely unfortunate. As we started off and you said that I've been a proponent, and I do personally believe that this is needed for our sector. And I think that if other states looked at the way developers in Maharashtra have actually embraced the rules and the laws, and I also think that I'm an extreme critic of government and policies and all of that, but I also will turn around and say when something is done well, with humility accept it. And I think that if we look at the way the government of Maharashtra has actually implemented RERA, I've tweeted this as well, that we managed to get all projects registered without a person going to a government office, without face-to-face interaction, all done online, no bribes, smoothly done. I mean, hats off. And I think that it's possible to do this.
The intent has to be
there. The intent has to be there. So I think hopefully if one sees that, it's working in one state, okay, and that will have a domino effect on other states. But till such time as it reaches, every single state in this country, the states that don't get it, I think it's a disservice. And I'll tell you this, I in fact think it's a disservice to the good developers of that state as well. Because look at it this way. Let's say we're in a race, okay, just athletics, we're in a race, and there is a group of people who are running in the same race, but who doping, okay, cheat, stop, will drink something, will get a ride with somebody along the way. That's how competition in the real estate sector is today. There are some of us who are running the race from start to finish in an honest manner. Okay, if there was a way to get everybody to compete in an honest manner, it's great for those who are doing an honest job. Right? So in fact, I think that this not implementing RERA in a proper manner in all the states does a disservice to the good guys. And I wish that those good guys would stand up and say, you know what, let's implement this.
So speaking of disservice, I also want to, and it's not something we speak about very often, I'd also like to address the point where we've been speaking about home buyers who are doing the right thing and they've been the victim of the entire system. But there are home buyers, when they know that there is a project that's illegal and yet they are asking for cash payments, there is that segment of home buyers as well. What impact do you think RERA will have on such home buyers?
So I think you've hit an important point, right? I think that there are, like I said, there are, as a sample of population, there are good and there are bad. It's not that somebody turned around and said, sitting up there saying, hey, you know what, bad guy, make him a builder, bad guy, make him a builder, bad guy, make him a builder, good guy, consumer, good guy, consumer. It's not, okay? So just as there are some builders who are good, I think that there are some consumers who are really, really bad. Okay? Now, they're bad from a greedy perspective. Okay? They're bad from, exploiting an opportunity. Okay? This is human nature. There are builders who are bad at greedy and exploit opportunities. Right? That's human nature. So I think that those who want consumers who thrive in that, let's pay some cash, let's manage this and manage that. People who are buying homes which are illegal, they know that they're paying less for it. Okay? When you know you're paying less for it, you know that there's something wrong.
Absolutely.
Okay? So we've gone along for decades here saying, yahan kuch nahi hota. Okay? Take Campa Cola for example. Now, it's clear that people, year after year after year, people have been cheated in that housing society. Okay? Today, there's no chance that the government will eventually regularize it in some way, shape or form. The message that we send out is that, hey, it's okay, we'll regularize it. Now, unless and until a firm stand is taken against illegal construction, okay, where the government comes in and says demolish illegal construction, right? When a group of people see risk to their investment, okay, where there is political will to actually execute and demolish those buildings which are illegal. When that happens, people will stop dealing with those builders. Right? So I think, that will continue. That will continue till there is a fear of losing your investment. And appeasement politics stops.
So, since you are such a RERA believer, and another point that we've spoken about even in the past, and you mentioned that earlier, that even the good developers are getting painted with the same brush because of a few or maybe several unscrupulous builders. What is your hope from RERA, the positive perception change that is required for the sector right now? Do you think RERA has the power to sort of create that positive perception change?
So it certainly has the power. But now look at this, right? Maharashtra has done a phenomenal job of implementing it. Okay, some other states have too. But you see what the media cycles are saying. You see what the news is saying. You look at the general opinion, and we spend time talking about some states which are not implementing it. So you talk about the builder and the politician nexus there, and the builder and the babu nexus there. So that again continues that taint. Okay. So does it have the potential of cleaning up? I certainly believe so. But I think that's only if it actually gets implemented. And I do think that there are things that need to be cleaned up in that. But I think in spirit we need to see it implemented.
So I think you've sort of preempted my last question to you, which is how long before we actually start to see the impact of RERA on the ground level? How much time do you think it will take for us to see a visible impact of RERA?
Oh, so I think as far as Maharashtra is concerned, the visible impact is already there. Okay. I think almost all projects have registered. So that's a good thing. We'll start seeing the cycle of updating of data onto their website. We've already seen judgments come out from the authority. We've already seen that, and a number of the judgments which have come out has been through mutual consent. Right? even before it's going in for them to be judged, okay, somebody complains, the developer and the consumer are sitting, having a conversation and resolving it. So I think the effect is already starting to be seen. And more of this will come in. And I think, I'm sorry, I remembered one other point, which you asked much earlier on, which I want to cover. One of the huge benefits for consumers is that developers have to put in 70% of the sale proceeds into a designated account, and that can only be used in that project. And part of the reason why we talked about those stuck projects is because people took money out from one and moved it elsewhere.
Absolutely.
So I think that's another huge benefit. When that gets implemented well, and I do believe that will be implemented well, I think a project getting stuck for want of for siphoning off of money will be behind us. Now projects will only be stuck if the developer makes a mistake in his product mix, commits to start a project, doesn't make the sales, and then gets stuck. Then we've got serious problems for those few cases where that happens.
So the clear takeaway from me is that, RERA has great potential, but a lot of it will depend on the implementation.
Absolutely.
But that's all that we have time for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned. We will be back with more. Good evening and have a great day.
Thank you.